What's this genotype?
My name is Alicia Hazard Gilbert, and I teach science here at the high school.
Little b, what color eyes? Blue.
The lesson you saw was a lesson on pedigree charts, which was a part of our genetics unit. Pedigree charts are a chart to track a genetic disease or some type of trait in a family, so it's like a big family chart diagram.
If it was big B, do we color this? No. What if it's big B, little b? We would color half. We wouldn't know until this daughter had kids what if she's a carrier homozygous dominant.
Other years, I've always had to teach pedigree charts with an overhead, and it was constant erasing, rewriting, and I would usually be the one doing all of the fill-in and writing, where this was the first year I was able to teach the pedigree chart interactively, and the kids could, you know, yell things out and I would write it in.
So this is generation 1, generation 2. But you told me there's 3 generations. Who has kids?
Joe. Adam and
Jen. So Adam's going to marry, because this is Adam, right? Who does he marry?
Jen.
How do I show a marriage?
I just gave their test on genetics, where I just tested the concept that I had taught that day that I had it electronically, the pedigree chart, and on those questions regarding the pedigree chart on the test, the kids did excellent on. So I don't know if it was because it was an interactive portion where, you know, they were much more involved than, say, just direct instruction where I'm staying on the board giving notes. So they really retained the information.
Querida diario. Debe ser querido.
My name is Matt Garbati. I teach Spanish levels 1 through AP here at the high school.
Es 3 del tarde.
I pick 3 to 5 essays and I scan them and project them onto the whiteboard, and students go up to the board and we work on editing them as a class, and I've already looked at them and not graded them, but I've written codes as to the errors that the kids make, so then the kids have an idea of what needs to be fixed.
Quita todo eso. Sí. Sí. Bien. Y escribe estuvieran.
I think the students, in terms of their vocabulary and grammar and editing skills in the AP advanced class, is really making a difference on their essays. They're on a 5-point rubric scale from the AP College Board people, and I'm seeing, improvements. I've been using the board for at least a month and a half now, doing this sort of editing activity, and I see a lot of improvement and avoiding these common mistakes that the kids make, all from Spanish 1 all the way through AP and beyond, hoping to get rid of those mistakes.
En la mañana también es posible. ¿Por qué no escribes por? En es posible también. Sí. De la mañana se usa con la hora. Sí, yo me desperté esta mañana a las 5:30 de la mañana. Si estás hablando de la hora, ¿a qué hora? Gracias, chicas. Un aplausito. Fabuloso. Bien.
To get started here, press and hold your menu button for 2 seconds. Make sure it turns on, make sure it says Quizdom. Make sure the number in the upper right-hand corner matches the number on the back so your grade is accurately reported. My name is Brad St. Germain and I teach Algebra 1 and Honors Geometry in the freshman program. Again, remember the ground rules. You can talk quietly to the person you're sitting next to, but you're not shouting answers out so everybody can hear. You're not turned around talking to other people at other tables. I'm modeling this after the way they run the SATs and the ACTs, all right, and other college entrance exams. They give you a set number of problems that have to be done in a set amount of time. All right? That's why all these time limits are always on these Quizdom assignments, to get you in the habit of getting these problems done quickly. With our learning statements, learning targets, objectives, and that sort of thing, we've been working through the first half of the year, trying to make sure we have all those learning targets covered. A few days ago, we went to take a closer look and review some of those learning targets, and what we're going to see now is how some of these multiple choice questions relate again directly to those learning targets, and we're going to review those using our Quizdom system. All right, here we go. Number 1. Kids are just so immersed in technology outside of school that to have no technology in school, to have that lack kind of just opens the doors for, you know, disengagement and a loss of focus. You need to be meeting them where they're at, and these kids are in a very different place from kids that I taught 5 years ago or 10 years ago or even when I was in high school. It really needs to be technology driven in the classroom these days. Spencer, what did you do to solve this problem?
I plugged it into the calculator.
And evaluated how?
I put 6 the first time, and I did 6 for the second time.
To get you what?
-2.
Oh! Let's take a look at the answer spread. Nice. With the Quizdom, that instantaneous feedback is just great because I can say, oh, all right, they're really getting this. We can kind of speed up the process a little bit. Or, on the other hand, you know, they're struggling with a little bit with this. Let's go back and try to think about a way, you know, to reteach this, re-explain it in the moment. I don't have to wait 2 or 3 days to get the papers turned around and, you know, have them look over it. We can talk about it in the moment. It's that instantaneous feedback that, you know, has been a huge help.
Why might someone want to use the browse feature of this database? Yes, Ellie?
I'm Rachel Hopkins, and I'm the school librarian.
Right, so if you had to do a biography about someone maybe during a specific time period and your topic was not selected, this might be a good place to go and find that.
Today's lesson was introducing the freshmen, the academic databases that the high school subscribes to. And these are reliable sources of information for students when they're doing research. And it's a bit of a challenge to sort of have students start there instead of going to Google. And so by using the whiteboard, I can really get sort of student participation and help them understand the concepts behind academic databases, how to navigate them, how to search them. Once you have an understanding of how they function, you can then transfer those skills to other websites or databases.
Does anyone else see another way to search for information? Yes?
You could go to the topic center.
The topic center, right? That's going to take us by era or by region.
In terms of learning in today's environment, I think that we see with the introduction of the iPad and other tablets, so much of how we consume information is now done by touch. And so to bring this type of technology into the classroom, the touch screen, is really sort of where things are at.
Right. So in this, you're using the fundamental theorem of calculus. Right? So you are going to plug this, and even though you think this is not a number, how do I plug in K?
My name is Tasneem Mohammed. I teach anything ranging from Algebra 1 to AP Calculus.
Right? And solve for K. Could I have had an answer of -3?
I was preparing the students for the AP Calculus exam. The students have to cover AP multiple choice questions within a time constraint, and I had finished a unit, and the goal was for me to understand that did they grasp a conceptual understanding of that unit, and were they able to effectively answer the multiple choice questions under a time constraint.
Suppose a function f is defined so that the limit as x goes to 4 of that function is 10. Which of the following has to be true? Okay, f prime of 4 exists. F is continuous at x equals 4. F is defined at x equals 4. F of 4 is 10, and none of the above.
Quizdom is software that allows me to create PowerPoint slides. I can insert in questions that are either multiple choice, true or false, or they can, from the remotes, put in a numerical answer. So as each PowerPoint slide comes up, they see the question, and depending if it's multiple choice, true or false, or if it's a numerical answer that's needed, they can instantaneously answer that question through the Quizdom remote. So if there's a multiple choice and the answer was choice B, then they would be able to send that respond to that question instantaneously. it makes it a lot easier for me to teach that material. For example, there was a timer set to each of those slides. That way students knew exactly when the countdown was happening on the corner of the board, how long they had left to answer that question. Typically they have about 2 minutes per question. So it prepares them very effectively. This is how long I have in order to finish the question. They also get really good feedback at the end of it straight away. As you saw from the presentation, after each question they're eager to know how was their response, and they can see that 16 out of 20 students got it correct, or which 4 got it wrong.
How many people go with E? All right, let's see. Good, 18 of you got it correct, nice job.
We're going to assume in this first interval that the sine x value is always going to be this y value. My name is Greg Paris and I'm a mathematics teacher. We are starting to develop the concept of the definite integral in calculus. It's a topic that we cover at the end of a semester. Let's start to make our approximation. How wide is each rectangle? With the electronic whiteboard, we're able to put up a panel and do some work on the panel, have a brief lesson on the panel, put up some student work on the panel. And then we used to have to erase that work to move on. But now we have really the ability to have several clean whiteboards without losing previous whiteboards. So we can discuss a topic, show an example, go back to the topic we discussed so that we can identify exactly what's going on between the two. All right, how about a suggestion for this problem then? What kind of a problem is this really? Ladder problem. It is a ladder problem. Okay, so let's get rid of this. The ability to move from whiteboard to whiteboard with previous work on it has helped a great deal. We sometimes have some lessons that can be involved, require some building of what the concept is. A lot of times when the kids look in a textbook, they really have the full building. But with the electronic components, we can break everything down and start from ground level and build to what they're actually looking at in their textbook. It's a great tool for that, because reading those textbooks is not that easy. It doesn't come easy and it takes some practice. But the ability with the whiteboard is to gradually construct some of these concepts that were very difficult to grab a hold of, even for our best students previously. If we can find the limiting value of the sum of these products as the number of rectangles grows to infinity, we have an answer to this multiplication problem. That's where we're headed. The technology is good, but this is what I know. I know how that I am only scratching what we can do with the technology. And I know that there is a lot more that can happen with it that will enhance the teaching and learning of mathematics. I know it's out there.